here. I appreciate your testimonies. I've had an opportunity to read through them as well as what you've shared today. I'll be brief. Director McIntosh, are you facing pressures internally to make your student athletes employees?
No, sir. My student athletes are not asking to become employees.
So you're saying your student athletes don't want to be employees?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, I have serious concerns that classifying student athletes as employees would ruin college sports as we know it. In fact, if student athletes unionize, it could alleviate antitrust scrutiny, but more likely, employee status would have the effect of increasing antitrust scrutiny, among a host of other problems. So, Mr. McIntosh, as we consider ways for Congress to act to protect the relationship between student athlete and the universities, what problems do you think might arise if we fail to act?
Well, Congressman, I think we're in a world right now, an environment right now that is not sustainable, that is not stable, and we need Congress's help to create some stability so that we can ensure that the mission of college athletics, first and foremost, the education, second, broad-based opportunity, and third, the competitive equity can be delivered upon. I fear right now, given the environment and the direction that we're going, that we will not be able to do that in the future. I fear that rules meant to create stability for college athletics are being challenged every day in the courts, and this is an area in which we need your help.
And what might happen if some states or schools classified student athletes as employees while others did not? What do you see in that scenario?
Well, Congressman, I don't think that's a great scenario, and I think it raises issues of competitive equity and fairness that are pretty dire.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to yield the balance of my time to Mr. Jordan.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. McIntosh, the other side, the previous speaker talked about, I think the term he used was uncompensated labor of college athletics. What's a full grant and aid scholarship over 5 years? What's that for a college athlete?
In total, sir, $125,000.
Room, board, books, tuition, tutoring, everything they get is $125,000 a year, or?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you meant that was tuition, sir.
Just tuition.
Yes.
When you add it all up, books, board, the clothing they get, the food they get, the meal plan, the tutors, everything. What's it over 5 years? With most athletes redshirt a year, they go 5 years. What's that total?
Sir, on a per average basis, it's an investment of hundreds of thousands of dollars per athlete.
Okay, and now the House decision is going to say we got $20 million coming to the university that you can then divvy up with the athletes as well. Is that right? On top of what you just described.
That is correct.
And then there's also, for some athletes, particularly some of the best football, basketball players, whatever, they're going to get NIL money from some business person who wants them to advertise at the car dealership or whatever. So there's that revenue for the athlete, that income for the athlete as well.
That is correct. Market-based NIL.
And then we have at the big places, the big universities, the collective, which is out raising money to also get athletes come, typically football players. I don't know what your collective is. I know at Ohio State it's a lot of money. My guess is at the University of Wisconsin it's a lot of money too. That also gets given to certain athletes. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it's far from uncompensated labor. In fact, they're getting maybe over $1 million, a couple $1 million, maybe more. I know in the sport of wrestling, an All-American who goes to the portal and transfers somewhere, they're getting $200,000-$300,000 in the sport of wrestling. So the quarterback's got to be getting millions of dollars. So this idea that there's uncompensated labor is just false. What we want is a system where all these student athletes get an opportunity to continue to do what they do, participate in sports, not hurt our Olympic movement. That's what we're trying to get. And again, I'm not sure what the answer is, but we're trying to figure it out.
That's absolutely correct, Chairman Jordan. I think right now, our student athletes have been benefiting from opportunities that exist outside of our ecosystem, outside of our department. We look forward to the pending settlement of the House case that will allow us for the first time to contribute revenues directly to our student athletes. It's been a long time coming. It's a long overdue, and we're embracing it and we're excited about it.
All right. I thank the gentleman for yielding. Yield back to the chair.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Georgia is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.